What is up, you guys? The Fallout What If here, and today I'm going to do a what if. It's going to be a marriage what if, since most of the comments, the first 2 days that I was there, I saw most of it just being marriage what if. So I decided to go and do that for the poll. Now, this is going to be a marriage what if, and this is what if Deku married what's called a lady, what is the word? The lady of the mafia. I will find a better way how to say it, and you guys will see it on there. I'll search up Madam of the Mafia or the but you guys should know what I'm talking about. It is basically the daughter, or basically the lady of the house. And Izuku is going to marry her, and she is not your typical woman. One, she is part of the mafia, and two, she is a werewolf. And this is when Izuku's life will turn him upside down, and this is who she is. As you can see, this is one of the few pictures that I could find that had someone like that I could actually, Ugh, man. I got the hiccups. Basically, this is someone that is close enough to what I wanted to show, but there wasn't too many, with, werewolf women. She-wolves or something like that. But either way, sorry if I won't be able to, speak the way I want to. I'm trying to, get over this, pain that's in the pain that I got through after my surgery. So I'm just hoping that everything will be alright. Now, we will start off with Izuku's life. It being a bad life. You see, Izuku is usually going through bullying and quirksism. People don't like that other people without quirks have a right because they can't defend themselves, or they don't pose any real what's the word? They don't possess any real giving to society. They could do something for them, but they really can't. They're not useful in their eyes. So Izuku gets the brunt of it all. Most times than not, Izuku will get bullied. Most times than not, the teachers won't even, acknowledge it. And when they're forced to acknowledge it, because some people from the school, some organizations have it to where they are forced to, step in on this bullying, but more times than not, they don't see it. With one of them being Katsuki Bakugo. He is still bullying Izuku. And at the age of 7, mind you. So, he talks to Hisashi, Izuku talks to Hisashi after getting multiple burn marks and bruises. Hisashi doesn't like this, and he decides that they should go on a little family trip. Him, Inko, and Izuku. So, Izuku says that he would like that, and he asks him where they're probably gonna go. And to this, Hisashi says, "We are going to America. I have an old friend that wanted me to visit him, but because I'm usually taking care of you two, and since I have a job, I don't have the ability to do that all the time. But recently, my boss gave me 2 weeks pay. He's giving me a couple of weeks off, so I get to have some quality time with you two. So I decided that I should go to America. But since you were still going to school, I couldn't have that. But now that you're not going to school, well, you're coming with me." And he says, "What's in America?" And he says, "Well, my friend, he has money, and he's rich. I won't sugarcoat this, Izuku. He's pretty wealthy. and he has invited me, so I decided why not. It would kind of be cool to see how he is and see how his house looks. And he's like, well, our house is nice. It's small. And Hisashi's like, thank you, Izuku. You kind of know how to cheer me up. Deep down inside, Hisashi's thinking to himself, wow, that's kind of a low blow, for your own kid to just say that, their houses are, it doesn't matter whether you have a shitty house. It's the shitty house that has family in it. Well, either way, Izuku and Inko and Hisashi start packing their bags up, and they go there for, 2 weeks. And Izuku is kind of scared on going on the plane, but since his parents are there and he has his All Might figurine with him, he decides to tough it out, and with a smile on his face. And for most part, Izuku is liking the flight. Well, except for the fact that most times than not, the attendants don't acknowledge him because of the fact that, not because he doesn't have a quirk, but because of the fact that he's small and, adults don't really like dealing with kids after a long time of being in the airplanes. Sorry about that. Now, once Izuku goes into the once the plane lands and they go into the car, they decide to go and get something to eat. And while there, Izuku is met with people. Well, a couple of kids that are around his age. Since it's a Saturday, they say, oh, hey, I'm so-and-so, and what's yours? And it's nobody special, but Izuku says, my name is Izuku Midoriya. I just came here from Japan. And since Izuku doesn't know that much English, he doesn't know what they're saying are. What are they saying? And Izuku notices that there's his father's behind him, and he says, oh, sorry about that, my son is here. He's kind of new to this country, and it's his first time visiting, if you guys can be kind to him. And they're like, oh yeah, sure. They ask him what his quirk is, and this is when Izuku has to basically frown a little bit and says that he doesn't have a quirk. But they say, oh, okay. Well, it's pretty cool that, that you have an All Might figurine. And what goes on is that Izuku just basically kind of, happy about that. They have their own All Might figurines, but, it's a different costume, so he's making kind of like friends with them. But Izuku has to go to New York. And New York, that's where his friend lives. He lives in a big mansion. And in this big mansion are people with suits. And they decide to, grab Hisashi's, Inko's, and Izuku's bags. And the Midoriya family are going to inside of the house. There, they meet a man named Alexander, who is basically the father of of Izuku's love interest. And Hisashi's like, hey, Alex, how you doing today? And Alex says, Hisashi, you look very young for your age. Even though, you kind of did the... Hisashi just, coughs a little bit. Goes, hey, we don't talk about that. Not now, at least. And Alex says, oh, I see. Well, it's good talking to you. How have you been? And these two talk about their adventures. And not only that, they also talk about, how their kids are. And sad to say, Alex is basically a widow. He's a widower or a widowed father. And Hisashi, because he knows about this, he says, like, have you met anybody else recently, or have you met somebody? And Alex says, no, I feel like I'm getting too old for this, for that. I should just worry about my daughter. And he says, it's a good thing that Izuku has a mother. He's blessed to have one. And Hisashi says, thank you very much. Now, why don't me and you go into my study? We can talk about some of the research that I found. And because of that, Izuku is just told by Alex that he should walk around this place. Everything looks fun. Everything is like, what is the word? Everywhere, anywhere you want to explore, just go at it. Because since, he doesn't really care about money and stuff, despite the fact that he has a mansion. But either way, Izuku's just like kind of intimidated a little bit by Alex, and there's a lot of people with suits, but Izuku doesn't know, like, why are they in suits. They use the dressing over there and in Japan are different. So he's just walking around the halls. He sees all these weird statues, even a vase. And this is when he feels like somebody's following him. And he's decided to just, look around and says, who's over there? Or who goes there? But there's no answer to it. Really, Izuku's just kind of frightened, but he just feels like somebody's just staring at him until he decides to do something. What he does is basically look up at one of the statue's heads. It's not really a statue. It's not actually a statue. It's it's steel armor, and this kind of this armor is very shiny. And Izuku looks up and he sees a girl with white hair, and Izuku just basically looks back as fast as he can, but he sees nobody. And Izuku's like, he should just run for it, and he just starts running. He runs down the hall, and then basically this is like a 3-story house, and there's like a lot of rooms, and there's basically a couple of stairways and a lot of halls. So really, Izuku is just, not blitzing. He's just like freaking yeeting himself to from place to place, just trying to run away from this girl. But this girl catches up to him, and sorry about that. Izuku is just wondering who is she. Is she gonna hurt him? Is she gonna attack him? And Izuku just basically says that it doesn't matter. He has to protect himself, and he has his All Might figurine, and then he just basically just whips back and actually smacks the girl in her head. And this is when she kind of falls onto the ground, and she just grabs her head and says that was mean. And Izuku says, wait a minute, what do you mean that was mean? You were the one that was chasing me. And Izuku is just scared, and he's wait, you're just a kid. Why are you chasing me? And why are you, mostly why are you chasing me? And what is your name? And this is when this girl introduces himself, and she says, my name is Alyssa, and I live here with my dad. And Izuku just is pale white, whiter than her hair. And if you know what she looks like already, I was making sure. This is her. This is what Alyssa looks like. Yeah, right there. Okay. So Izuku is just he's pale in the face, just thinking to himself, oh my gosh, I just smacked this girl. I wonder if the dad's gonna hit me. But Alyssa's just laughing a little bit and saying that, you're kind of weird. And Izuku's like, wait a minute, how am I weird? But yet you were just chasing me right now. And she says, potato. Right now, I'm bored right now. Do you want to play with me? And Izuku's like, wait a minute, play? As in, like, play? As in being friendly play? And Izuku is just, he's really happy at this second, because one, the two boys that were, that he talked to at the, it was a burger shop. Just think of any burger shop that you know, any good one. And Izuku is just, he's just thinking to himself, like, people are nice to me. They don't care if I have a quirk. As far as he knows, he really didn't fit in with the people over there where he lives right now. But at this very moment, somebody's wanting to play with him, and he says that I just gotta let you know right now that I'm quirkless. And she says, "Oh, okay, but most of the people here are quirkless too, so it's not so bad. Some of them have quirks, but the majority of them don't." And Izuku's just like, his eyes are just bugging out, like, are you telling me that there's more people like me? And she says, yeah, you're not like a new species or something like that. We have a lot of quirkless people around in America. Most of us don't care about quirks like that. That's why we have guns. We have guns, and we just use them. Well, my father tells me to use a gun, but I like using my hands. And Izuku is just really shocked, and he's kind of amazed that not only is somebody treating him kindly, but somebody is also, well, accepting the fact that he doesn't have a quirk. And this new revelation, kind of shakes him a little bit, saying, why doesn't he just stay in America? I mean, America, as far as he knows, is like way better than what's over there where he lives right now. Maybe he could start a new life. He doesn't have to be bullied the way he was back then. Really, there's no hatred. And that's what he wants. He wants to be accepted. And right now, he feels kind of happy. He's going to cherish the next 2 weeks, because it's something, it kind of restored Izuku's humanity a bit. But this is when Alyssa just smacks him on his head and says, hey, are you there still? You seem to not be talking. And Izuku just says, yeah, I'll play with you. And he grabs her hands and just is so happy. He really does seem like a kid again. And Alyssa is just like wagging her tail, because she tells him that she has a quirk. And she says, I am a wolf girl. But one day when I grow up, my power is going to change. It's going to be called She-Wolf. And Izuku just says, oh, that's pretty neat. I know some people that have animal-based quirks, and they're heroes. And she says, really? And Izuku says, yeah, I have some stuff on my notebook, but I don't have it I don't have it with me right now. And she says, why don't we just read your book when you have it? And he says, all right, well, I just need to get it from the people who, give me a second. Give me a second here, people. Good friend calling me. Sorry about that, people. As you know, a friend of mine, and also basically another what-ifer, has told me some good news. Very good news. And some of you guys that are subscribed to him will basically, all I'm just going to say is that keep your eyes open. Now, as far as I remember, when we last left off, Izuku and her were trying to find somebody to, basically get his journal. And these two start, talking, and they see, they basically sees how, what Izuku has written, and, Izuku sees that no, and not Izuku. Alyssa sees that he's very smart, and not only that, very like, what's the word? I would say like she sees how like observant Izuku is, and Izuku just tells her that one day he wants to become a hero in UA, and she says that, well, she hopes that he does good, and that, well, she does, he lives a good life like that, becoming a hero. And these two, have to stop talking because Alyssa is gonna have to go to dinner with her dad and the Midoriya family. And Hisashi and Alex, basically, they actually make a toast to, well, Hisashi and Alex make a toast to basically their friendship, and Hisashi makes a toast to Izuku. Even though he doesn't have a quirk, he still one day wants to become a hero. And with that, Hisashi just says that he hopes that Izuku, his dream, will become a reality. Moved by this whole, like, he's kind of touched by this. He knows that Hisashi has been rooting for him, but to say it out front that he is going to become a hero one day makes Izuku realize that he's not going to just give up. So for the next couple of weeks, he basically does a lot of studying on how to become a hero, and he also has to study very hard for his books and for all the tests that he's gonna he's gonna have to study for the test he makes. For the one he makes, the test he's gonna take for his future. So Izuku's getting ready for that, and he studies on how the heroes of UA do stuff. He really wants to become one, and Alyssa kind of is motivated to actually become a hero herself. And she says, "Hey Izuku, do you want to, is it alright if I become a hero too, like you?" And Izuku says, "Yeah, heroes always have to need some people to help them, because, well, heroes have to help out people in the very end." And she says, "Alright, then I'll be a hero as well." Well, and after a while, these two become basically inseparable. But he basically 3 days before they're supposed to leave, she decides to go to the park with Izuku, and Izuku's just is wondering, like, oh, is there gonna be some people to play with? And they don't actually tell the Hisashi or Alex anything about this, or basically anybody at this point. But Hisashi just notices that Izuku and her are just having fun, and with Alyssa's sneaky nature that Izuku's now understanding, they basically head off to the park and they start having fun. There's other kids and all. What else would I was gonna say? And Izuku's favorite thing to play with is the swings. He likes going back and forth, trying to get up on top of the air, or not the top of the air. He's trying to reach the skies, and he thinks about it kind of like how he's thinking about becoming a hero, and he wants to aim for the top, so much so that people can always see him and always call out to him, and Izuku will always see them. And at this point in time, a couple of people actually grab Hisashi. They grab Alyssa, and they also grab Izuku. Sorry about that. I kept kind of like dulling my head a bit. Forgot. Now, what goes on is that not Hisashi, golly. Izuku and Izuku and Alyssa, they're actually stuck behind a van. They're stuck in a van, and Izuku's like, "What are these people doing?" Is like, the guy says, "Shut up, brat," and really just tells him that, "Hey, you, girl, you're a part of the Ferricelli family. Your father owes us some money, but he doesn't want to come out. He's deciding to not pay, even though we kind of did some stuff for your dad, and he doesn't want to give us the money." And this is when the guy says, "Why are you talking with her? Just shut her up before those weird people decide to chase us down." And this is when he says, "All right." And this is when Izuku just thinks to himself, if he has to be a hero right now, but he's very scared. He can't even move his legs because they're shaking. He can move his legs in a sense because they're shaking so much, but Izuku can't do anything about it. So he thinks to himself, what is he going to do? What is he going to do? What is he going to do? And what Izuku does is actually just says, "Have no fear." And basically, Alyssa's looking at him, and at this point in time, Izuku just says, "Because I am here." And he just runs up to the guy and punches him in the stomach as hard as he can, causing it to where Izuku basically sees when he sees the guy, he doesn't flinch or he doesn't move or he doesn't get angry. He says, "That kind of hurts," and just slaps him straight in the face. And Izuku just hits his head on the floor. And with this, Alyssa just gets mad and just says that you're not supposed to hurt his friends. Now, Izuku is just unconscious, and she says that she wants to protect Izuku. Izuku is kind of like a knight in shining armor, and even though she doesn't like the way she looks at times with her werewolf, her werewolf form, she's gonna have to do it. Like I said, she is technically she is a werewolf, so she has the transformation of one, and she just turns into like this. Let's see, she was at the age of 7, like you're around 3.5 feet. Now you put that by 4 feet, or 4.5 feet, and basically what goes on is she just starts grabbing the guy and just starts biting him and stuff, and starts attacking him. And this is when what's his face? Hisashi and Alex just stop by, and they stop the car. And the guy sees that this silvered hair, this werewolf with silver hair, just shows up and basically demands that the car stops or his life will stop. And Hisashi's just behind them, and he just burns the hand of the guy because he grabs his gun and starts to shoot at freaking Alex. And Hisashi already knows that he's a werewolf, and there was no point in like denying it at that point. What goes on after? Oh shit! Sorry about that. What goes on after that is, what was I gonna say? No, actually, that's pretty much it. What they do is they subdue the guy, and then after that, call the cops. He tells Alex that they should leave because there's no point in calling the cops and then having to be there while the kids are kind of knocked out. And they see the inside of the truck, and this is when Hisashi says, So your daughter is she has her full werewolf capabilities unlocked. And this is when Alex says yes. He says, "Is she gonna be stronger than you when she gets older?" And he says he doesn't know. All he knows is that his daughter is going to be safe, hopefully in the right hands, or at least in the right person's hands. And Hisashi kind of smirks and says, "Well, you do know that my son is a good person. Maybe one day she and him could be, you know, betrothed." And Alex says that's not actually a bad idea, but right now it's too early to think about marriage. And Hisashi says it's never too early to think about marriage. But these students start laughing, and well, Alyssa basically says that she's sorry that she actually basically is causing this guy to bleed out. And Alex says, "Don't worry, I'll call the cops, and they'll deal with the bad people." Hisashi says, "Hey, she's gonna be alright, and she's not gonna, freaking try to bite my face off if I get near her." And Alex says, why don't you be quiet? It was only one time." And well, they go to the house, and Izuku is just waking up like a couple of hours later. Alyssa says that she's sorry for what she's done, because she woke up probably an hour before Izuku, and Izuku is he's thinking to himself that was weird. He heard a bunch of noises, but how were they saved? And Alyssa doesn't want to say anything, but Alex says, "Don't worry, she's gonna be all right. She's just having trouble right now with something." And Izuku says, "Okay." And Alyssa basically just is scared that she might, Izuku might not accept her. And she tells him on the last day, because Izuku and her stopped talking. And on the last day, Izuku just says, "Hey, I just wanted you to know that I'm glad I got to meet you." And she's actually surprised and is happy and says, "Does he really mean it?" And Izuku says, "I won't lie to you about this. I'm happy that you're my friend. You're my bestest friend ever." And that makes her happy. And she says that she wants to meet him one day when they get older. And Izuku says, "Okay, we'll do that." And she says, you have to promise me." And Izuku says, "I pinky promise." And Alyssa says, No, not a pinky promise. A real promise." And he says he doesn't know what that is. And she says, "Give me your hand." And he says and what she does is basically bite her hand, or not bite her hand. She bites your thumb, and he says, "Bite your thumb too." And Izuku's like, "But isn't that gonna hurt?" And she says, "You're gonna be a hero, you big baby. Just bite your hand for a second." So she bites it, and basically these two she basically locks his finger with hers, and says that we're gonna be heroes one day, and hopefully she and Izuku will become the best heroes. So Izuku agrees, and now these two are becoming. Izuku goes back to Japan, and he's back at his house, and he's gone past asleep. Now, cutting to cutting to when he's 13 and he just starts middle school. Izuku has a walking cane, And Izuku is just thinking to himself, he hopes that he doesn't, he hopes his sickness gets over with, he hopes that his sickness gets over with, or what is the word? He hopes his illness stops and is destroyed once and for all. And Izuku's life is, even though it was happy at one point, Izuku's gone through a lot of trials and tribulations, such as getting bullied still, having to be reminded of how his life was. Not only that, the doctors said that he actually acquired some form of an illness, but they can't understand what it is, what the illness is, or what it's doing to his body. All they know is that Izuku's so weak that he can't properly hold himself up, so he has to have a walking cane. Now, Izuku is wondering, like, what is he going to do? He wants to be a hero so badly, but he's usually just tired. And this is where I'm going to stop right now. I hope you guys liked the video. Tomorrow I will do a part 2, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, I feel a little bit more better to give you a better story than it was today. Until then, like, comment, and do subscribe to the channel here, people. This has been the Fallout Wood if you're here. Bye.